All right. Well, let's talk about something else. Something that makes me feel good. So I'm browsing the old Reddit, and I come across this post from a subreddit called Bye Bye Job. And I'm like, gee, I wonder what this is all about. Well, basically, it's supposed to be a subreddit where people who do bad things and get fired get made fun of. All right. Kind of a negative thing. Reddit loves bullies. So as long as it's okay with the establishment bullying. So I notice a whole lot of these things are people who are like, the vaccine mandate is wrong. I will not abide by this. And they're being mocked and made fun of. So I'm like, I'm going to scroll through this subreddit Bye Bye Job. And wow, the top post here. My wife was a doctor, has been a doctor for 30 years. Kidney transplant specialist, emergency specialist, hospitalist. Didn't lose a COVID patient, has natural immunity, and will tomorrow see her last day because science. We stand to lose everything she has ever worked for.
Wow. Remember when doctors were heroes?
They put a clown face. They put a clown face. No jab, no job. We will miss you. Ha ha ha. Vaccine bad. Then we have this one. Then we have this one. It's basically like hero fireman. I saw this and they're like, oh, they also have the Sokotoa lady. That was actually really funny.
Cringe.
But I saw this and they're making fun of all of these people who are like, I am standing up for what I believe in. And I'm just like, this is actually a white pill. It's like an optimistic, light, all of these posts. I started to believe. When I see all of these posts of people saying, I will not comply, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe more people than we realize. Look at Orange County Battalion Chief fired after he didn't issue reprimands over vaccine mandate.
Ooh.
Raleigh's restaurant ordered to remain closed over COVID non-compliance. What is this one? Another YouTube channel got a strike or whatever, I guess. I don't know. GE Aviation employees walk out over vaccine mandate. According to an employee participating in the protest, up to 75% of staff did not show up for work at the Durham, North Carolina, Peebles, Ohio, and Lafayette, Indiana locations.
Dang.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. That's great.
Someone gets banned or whatever, and then nearly 1,900 Washington state employees fired over vaccine mandate. Assisted living anti-vax nurse fired for vaccine refusal. Actor Chad John Kimball claims he lost come from away job over religion. And they put vaccine bed on it. All of these posts. I'm like, yo, if you want to see hope for humanity, go to r/bye-bye-job and cheer for these people who are saying bye-bye job because they're standing up for what they believe in.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that Southwest thing triggered a lot of that, and with the in and out thing happening, and now you're seeing, I don't know how these are dated, but I mean, I feel like something's happening right now where you're actually able to see that if you do actually stand up for yourself, things happen, but it's got to be a unified thing, and that's always been the problem, is getting everybody on board. But yeah. I don't know. I mean, this is interesting.
This isn't organized.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it is clearly when 75% of workers don't show up.
That's what I mean, though.
But the Southwest thing, I talked to a pilot, and he said that it's basically just everybody realizing if I'm going to get fired, I'm going to use my sick time. It's like, might as well use my vacation days while I still can.
Well, it's illegal for them to officially protest, but it's also important to note here that Southwest lost an estimated $75 million in the 4 days where this alleged freedom flu was going around. And whether it's sick leave or paid leave, it does show the disruptions that these mandates are causing that are dividing people to a point where a lot of people are not working. Now, you add that to the supply chain shortages, you're asking for a disaster to happen here because we're not going to have enough workers for a lot of very important tasks that need to be done there. And seeing all these people resist, and some people are deciding to make fun of them, but you made a good point here. There's a lot of them.
It's amazing.
And I've been talking about this for a while. The perception of what we see on the mainstream media, on big tech social media, is a perception that obviously is ignoring huge protests that are happening not just all across the United States, but all over the world. There's major, huge demonstrations with thousands of people, tens of thousands, even in some instances, hundreds of thousands of people hitting the streets saying enough is enough. I am not complying with your nonsense. I'm not going to be asking for permission from the government to go to the grocery store. I'm not going to do that.
I also want to point out, on this subreddit, they have Real Bryson Gray. He got a strike on YouTube for his song called Let's Go Brandon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
For, I guess they said medical misinformation.
TikTok,
so they put vaccine bad.
There was also some reports about TikTok potentially going after him as well. I mean, but the song Let's Go Brandon, again, in the top charts in many different platforms, which shows you the popularity of people saying, hey, this symbolic reference of Let's Go Brandon showing people's discontent at the current administration for what is obviously creating these problems for everyone, which will only be exacerbated from here.